what it is? What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Srtfied, and I'm back with another banger for you guys. Y'all already know what's up. If you're not a subscriber to this channel yet, what I always tell you guys, go and smash that subscribe button. You know why? Because it don't cost me nothing, don't cost you nothing. Just click that red button for me. And if this is your first time on this channel, welcome to Srtfied Official. So today, we're going to do some more DV8ing. So I got the DV8 pod lights. These are the 3-inch Elite Series pod lights, the quad pod lights, because 2 on each side, and the DV8 brackets for those pod lights. So we're gonna get those things installed today. Well, they're already installed, but I'm gonna show you guys how I got them installed, and also show you towards the end how much of a difference these things make, because those things are bright. So let's get into it. And just to give you guys a quick overview of everything needed for this installation, for one, you will need this pod mounting bracket in order to do the quad lights. Now these brackets right here are pretty beefy, as you guys can see. They have the same texture as your modular bumper if you have the modular bumper. But yeah, these things are really nice. But if you go on their website, they give you different options as far as the different type of configurations you can do with these mounting brackets. So you can do a big one, you can do a single one. Like, just go on their website and it gives you a complete list of different configurations outside of the quad series that I'm about to do on mine. So these are the Elite Series 3-inch pod lights. I really like how these look, and I think they're going to complement the Bronco really well. So these lights themselves come with wiring harnesses. Now, if you do not have the upfitter switches, or if you plan on not using the upfitter switches, you do have to order a separate wiring harness that has a switch. I did not order that because I am wiring these to the upfitter switches. So in order to do so, these little wire ends, obviously you're going to need to purchase some more wire. This is about, I would say, about a 16 gauge wire right here. You will need to extend these in order to reach your wires for the upfitter switches. So just make sure, if you plan on doing this, you purchase some extra wire if you don't have any extra wire laying around. And of course, each light comes with their own brackets. So yeah, let's get this install going. All right, so in order to mount the pod lights, you will need to remove these 2 screws right here. So this is a T30 and this is a T25 hex socket. In order to lift these up so you have enough room to run your wire underneath and to your upfitter switches. But one thing I wanted to point out, because I do have to remove this antenna in order to get access to everything, but once everything is reinstalled, this is how it's going to look with the bracket. And this bracket has a nice little cutout for your antennas, so you don't have to worry about possibly not being able to retain that. So that looks really clean. So my plan is, since there are going to be 2 pot lights on each side, is to wire them to 2 different switches. The inner ones I'm going to have on a separate switch, and the outer ones I'm going to have on a separate switch, just because the outer ones I want to utilize for more of a wide shot, and the inner one's more of a front shot. So you guys will see towards the end how I have everything aimed, but let's get this install going. So these pod lights do not come with any installation instructions, same with this, but it's pretty straightforward. So the mounting hardware for these pod lights, as you guys see, is pretty simple. It's just this little bracket right here. This bolt has to go through it. I will put this on first, then you mount it on the actual light like this. There's 2 mounting screws right there. Again, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. Put the bolt through. The orientation of this little light right here, according to what I've seen in the picture, is facing forward. So since this is going to be the bottom, I'm gonna put this right there, set it sideways, and then you use your little washer and your bolt right here. Do not worry about torquing these down, because towards the end, once you have everything installed, you want to aim your lights before you tighten everything down to them. But this requires a 4mm Allen key for this bolt. One thing I want to point out, because you don't have a lot of room underneath here in order to tighten it down on here, because they will be mounted like this, and then you have your self-locking nuts that will be going underneath here to tighten them up. You only need to worry about being able to tighten the nut because there's some grooves in here that keeps that bolt from spinning. So you can just kind of put your hand on top of it and then thread your nut underneath, because this end isn't going to spin with these little grooves right there. So that's kind of neat that they did that. All right, just to show you guys how I ran the wire, obviously I'm not going to put the bracket on just yet. I wanted to wire everything down first before I actually pushed everything back down. So once I show you guys this, I'm going to finish everything up top and then worry about the wires last, because that's the easy part. But I did lift this up and I marked it, as you guys can see right there. It says out. Don't worry, this is written on the actual tape. So but I lifted it up and I routed it essentially around this little area, and it came, if you can see it right there, it comes right through here, through this little passageway right there. So in order to not forget which one's the outer one, I did label my harness plug with some painter's tape. And then on the same side on over here, you don't have as much room to pull this plastic piece out because of the windshield wiper right here, but you have enough room to where you can fit the harness through there. So it's the same thing. It runs right through this little channel. There we go. It runs right through this channel and comes right out of here. Just make sure when you actually wiring this thing up that this is part of your hood. So when this closes, you don't want it in an area where this can possibly be, you know, destroyed or crushed. So you want to make sure it's out the way. So let's go ahead and finish everything up here, and then we'll get the wiring taken care of. So I got one side completely done. Obviously I left these somewhat loose, as you guys can see, so I can do the proper aiming of them later, but everything is installed. So everything behind here is pretty accessible, but what I recommend doing is mounting these lights onto the actual bracket first and then installing the bracket last, because trying to install this first and then these lights, it's a little challenging trying to get to everything behind here. So I'm gonna show you guys on the other side, because I have not tackled that side yet. I wanted to see how everything went and what was the best route for this side first, so I can give you guys the best advice. So let's go. Once you actually get them installed on here, don't get them super tight, but just tight enough to where they're not just flopping around. Don't worry about these being too loose, just because you can do that easily on the end by tightening the sides. So the last part is literally just installing these screws. So the tricky part is, obviously you have access right here in order to get to the screws to tighten them, is to try to get them in over here on the sides. So in order to get these screws in, again, you can have access from the top. If you want to put like something on here to make it sticky on the actual hex key, you can do so, but I found it easy to just kind of do your hand like this, go in and then just kind of get it started while it's in there, and then you can go from the top and tighten everything down. And just like that, both sides are installed. So literally all that's left to do now is to wire everything up. All right, as you guys can see, I went ahead and extended the wires. I went ahead and soldered them in just so I have plenty to work with. Obviously, all that's not going to be utilized. I'm going to cut it once I actually get it right, but better to have more than not have enough. Same with this side. Went ahead and extended them so I can get everything wired up to my upfitter switches. So just to reiterate, the inner ones I'm going to wire to aux 2, and the outer ones I'm going to wire to aux 3. All right, everything is officially wired up. As you guys can see, the harness coming down right here. I did get some wire loom from AutoZone, some braided wire loom. It was like 15 bucks, but it definitely cleaned everything up because I was able to keep everything together to where it doesn't look like a bunch of spaghetti wires running across the engine bay. But I ran it across the firewall behind the catch cans. And as you guys can see, right through here, and this is where it is spaghetti like, but I have the harness running behind here and then coming out down here, as you guys can see right there. But again, everything was pretty smooth, man. Like the wiring job was a little tedious, but besides that, the install went pretty smooth. So let's see how this thing lights up. Again, aux 2 should be the inner ones facing forward. Show you guys on the outside. Yeah, that looks good. And then aux 3 should be the other ones. All right, I have them pointed outward just to give some range. Look how bright that is. Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's go ahead and turn the front light bar on just to see how everything looks. Oh yeah, this will definitely light up the night. Look at that. So I'm definitely gonna give you guys some night shots and so you guys can see the before and afters, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's install, y'all. The install went pretty straightforward. I would say about an hour. It took me about an hour to do everything. Obviously, with me shooting this video, it took a little bit longer, but if you have an hour, I think you can get this done with simple hand tools, and as long as you have everything you need to get it done. That being said, just a reminder, DV8 does offer a wiring harness, a switched wiring harness for anybody that does not have the upfitter switches or chooses not to use the upfitter switches. It's literally plug and play at that point. If you are trying to wire it into the upfitter switches like I did, then yes, you will need to extend the wires. I used 16 gauge wires to extend them. It's literally the same size as the wires on those harnesses. So it came out pretty clean. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. As you guys just saw, it definitely makes a huge difference at night. So if you guys are into off-roading at night or live in any type of area where it gets extremely dark, those pot lights will definitely make a difference. So again, let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I think this really ties everything together. And I don't know if I'm gonna do any other lighting mods. Like, I don't know. I've never been a fan of like the top lights on the top and stuff, especially with the fact that they make a lot of noise in the wind. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm pretty much done for that aspect. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Srtfied_official. Hashtag salute and certified drip on all your pictures and videos to show love and support to the channel. And until next time, YouTube, I hope y'all have a good day.